talk about the risks and benefits of Pitocin. So Pitocin is a medication that was created in the mid-1900s to mimic the functions of oxytocin. Oxytocin is a natural hormone that releases in the body, helping the uterus to contract. This will start labor, support the labor process, and will help the body in releasing the placenta and slowing bleeding postpartum. It is very essential. So Pitocin is the synthetic form of oxytocin, and it can be used at any time during labor or before labor. People use Pitocin to induce labor. They use Pitocin to support the strength and effectiveness of contractions during labor, and they can use Pitocin to help release the placenta or help the uterus to clamp and slow bleeding postpartum. There are risks and benefits of using Pitocin, and they kind of vary for every different phase of labor that you use it in. It's important to consider when thinking about the use of Pitocin or having conversations with your care provider about it, what their model of care is and what their philosophy is on the use of Pitocin. Some care providers routinely want to give everyone Pitocin in labor, no matter who they are or how well they're progressing. Other care providers, like midwives who support mothers and birth parents at home or in birth centers, don't use Pitocin at all before labor or during labor, but they will use it after the baby is born to prevent hemorrhage or bleeding. In that model of care, midwives will typically refer someone to the hospital for Pitocin induction or the use of Pitocin during labor only in the rare circumstance where it actually becomes necessary. This may mean that someone has developed a condition called preeclampsia, which means that they need to get the baby born soon. So a Pitocin induction is a reasonable option at that time. Or perhaps the person has had a long labor and then contractions just become really slow and spread apart, and no matter what they try, they're not getting close together anymore. Which means that that person might benefit from a little bit of Pitocin to support labor progress. Pitocin carries the most risk the earlier it is used in the labor process and the least risk throughout the labor process. So getting some Pitocin in the third or fourth stage, meaning before the placenta is out or after, the placenta is out, does not carry anywhere near the same amount of risk as receiving Pitocin very early in labor or all throughout labor. So what are those risks? So though Pitocin encourages cervical dilation, it does not encourage effacement, which are both equally important to the progression of labor. Pitocin may cause unnaturally strong and prolonged contractions, which may decrease oxygen to the baby. This can potentially lead to fetal distress, which can increase the risk of cesarean. Pitocin increases the risk for epidurals. This is because Pitocin does not cross the blood-brain barrier. So normally when someone has a contraction, the body matches the intensity of the sensation by releasing the perfect amount of endorphins. Endorphins are the body's own pain coping chemicals that are released to help someone to cope with the sensations of labor. When Pitocin is involved, it sort of bypasses that body's feedback mechanism, which means that the process of sensations being released and endorphins being released to match is not happening any longer. So people tend to experience very intense pain when they have Pitocin in their system, which increases the use of epidurals. Pitocin-stimulated contractions are reported to feel more intense than natural contractions. And Pitocin can cause edema, which may cause the nipples to flatten slightly, making the first feed more challenging. What are the benefits? Pitocin causes uterine contractions, which may help to speed up or jumpstart labor. The ability to initiate labor quickly can be life-saving to a parent that has a medical need, such as preeclampsia. Pitocin encourages the placenta to release postpartum, and Pitocin treats and prevents postpartum hemorrhage.